really excited to get going and to host Grambling this Saturday. It's 7 o'clock kickoff, and we're just really excited to get this thing going, and having the opportunity to play Grambling is really special also. Really like our team. I think we've progressed pretty good. The guys that'll be out, Jabari Johnson's out. Maybe Iowa State. Kaim White's out for a while, and so is Javen Myers. So both those guys were hurt in scrimmages, and neither one of them are ready to play right now. Neither one of them practiced last night. So everybody else did, which we're excited about, to get guys back. Really, we think full go, like Sam Miller, Josh Peterson, Bobby Reynolds, to get guys back in full speed ahead. We're able to take part in good-on-good team drills and stuff, which is really exciting. But I like our team. I think we've done some good things in camp. I think this team is together, and I think we have some talented players. We're obviously concerned about Grambling because of the type of team they have. We know, all I've told our players is, you don't really know what somebody's going to do. It's a typical first game. Coach Todd is back as their defensive coordinator, and if they do what they did last year, then we'll have an idea. Multiple, 3-3 stack combinations and blitzing people and doing various things, and so they give you some problems and really make you look downright bad at times. Offensively, we know they have a new coordinator in Mark Orlando, who I have a ton of respect for and have followed him for years, back when he was the offensive coordinator at Southern. And then combining him with both Coach Fobbs and Coach Nelson, two guys that I've worked with, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think, by judging by our read, they're a lot like us in the sense that they want to get a little bit more physical than what they were last year, especially toward the end of the year. But I played against Coach Orlando before. Gives you a lot of sets. He's going to give you 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, yet they're going to be in 10 formations. They'll have the tight ends flex, they'll move them in. There'll be a lot of deception involved in shifts and motions and things that they do, and they do and he's always, through his career, has done a very, very good job of it. So, we know they'll be tough to defend. I like their quarterback. I like Higginbotham. I think he can both run and throw, where he was dangerous last year for them, as he throws the ball really good once he gets out of the pocket, and made some really good throws last year. They're going to have talented receivers. We know that. I know a lot about Devontae Davis from the same area that I come from, so we know him. Know the Geis kid from Monroe and stuff, so we know they'll have good players out there. So that's what we've told our players. We know they're going to be our players, we've told them about Grambling. We know they're going to be extremely talented. They'll have talented players, and they're going to be very well coached. So other than that, it'll be a typical first game. I think in any first game, for any coach, I don't care who you're playing, the majority of your worries are about you and about yourself, and have you covered everything? Are we ready for every situation? Who's going to have the deer in the headlights look, so on and so forth, because it'll be the first time that some of them have been out here. But, we obviously are concerned about Grambling, but we're also concerned about ourselves. Like I said, hopefully you've covered all those situations. It just so happened last year, I'm glad we did, because, we won the first game of the year really on a 2-minute drive, and then turned around and beat Southern Miss by 1 point and had several situations into that game. So we were fortunate that we covered them, and we're pretty much ready to go, and we're able to win close games early in the year. So hopefully we've done that this year. We've dotted the I's, we've crossed the T's. Our kids understand the different situations you can get, because, again, college football, the first time you see another colored jersey, it's real. There's no exhibition, there's no scrimmages, there's no jamboree. You line up and you play, and you just hope and pray that your kids are prepared. And we've went through all the situations, but there's nothing like live situations. I mean, there's some things you simulate in practice. It's just really, really hard to do, but hopefully we're ready. So, any questions?
Start off with, we've talked about your relationship with Coach Fobbs, but I was looking at some stuff this weekend, and to me it's crazy the connections that both of these staffs, when you go all the way down, you mentioned Coach Nelson, Coach Todd was here, and Coach Fobbs working for Coach Stoker. It's kind of one of those unique deals when you look at it as many times as you guys have overlapped in your careers.
Yeah, it is, and we're fortunate, like I said last week, I'm very fortunate to work with Coach Fobbs. Really good coach, great person. And, you know, we were lucky at McNeese, really, to get him twice, because he had left for a year to go to Southern Miss. And then when they had a coaching change at Southern Miss, we were fortunate enough to be able to bring him back. And you know, Reggie was our O-line coach in some of the really good years we had at McNeese. So have a lot of respect for those guys, and they'll do a really good job of coaching. And I said with Coach Orlando, I really came in contact with him for the first time when I was a coordinator of the All-Star game, and also had the clinic, and he was one of the guys that we had come speak. I thought he was fantastic, and saw him a couple other times, and then brought one of his teams to McNeese to play us, and he's good. When I saw that Coach Fobbs was hiring him, I thought that was a great hire, because I've always thought if you go back and look at Coach Orlando, wherever he's been, they've moved it. You know, they've moved the football wherever he's been. So, but yeah, we were talking about that last week, Adam. I mean, I think with my background coming from high school, we're used to this. I mean, you know, you turn around and play against guys that, you know, turned around and, you know, in 1 year and played against, you know, my mentor several times when I was a high school coach, and, you know, and played against guys that I coach with, and you turn around and play against guys that coached on your staff. So I'm used to that. And then there's something about the Southland where people just go from school to school, you know, and so we got a lot of that too. And I was telling you at one time when I was in McNeese, our two biggest rivals were Stephen F. and Stephen F. Austin and Northwestern, and, you know, that was Scott and JC, you know, which, you know, I'd worked with those guys and really, really close to those guys, and we talked all the time, you know, so it's just, I'm used to it. And, you know, whenever you kick it off, it's your players against their players, and we'll shake hands after the game and wish each other well, and we'll move on.
When you look at this depth chart, you can see there's a lot of stuff that pops out. I know there's some younger guys that you're counting on, both in age and in, you know, a little bit of experience having started before. You look at, you know, Josh Newton's going to get his start as a redshirt freshman, and then, you know, Brandy has had a great camp, and it seems to translate into the starting role as well.
Josh has done really good. Really proud of Josh. Roy Williams has missed some. You know, he had the knee surgery last year, came back. You know, I mean, it's typical things, I think, when you're recovering from ACL. You know, your knee swells at times, you drain it, you sit him a couple of days, he comes back. So, but no, we think that Josh has earned the right to start. He's been out there every day. You know, he's never played in a college game, at, you know, really any college game, but we feel confident in him. An extremely competitive kid, likes to compete, likes to play, and so he'll start the game, and of course Roy will play too. But we think that Josh has earned the right to start. But we have several guys that have, you know, that have kind of been out. Peterson has been out, Sam Miller's been out, you know, so I mean, you know, other guys kind of move up, but they'll all play.
So looking at the receivers too, it looks like you know, kind of move some guys around to different spots. Was that to get Brandeis on the field, or just kind of what was the thought process behind it?
No, not really. It's just, I mean, that's a start. But they'll play, Xavier will play multiple positions, Brandeis will play multiple positions, Zach Jackson will play the boundary end of the field. So guys will play multiple positions. You know, we're going to play Whitfield really in 10 personnel. That'll be the bulk of his snaps. And but the more experienced guys will play different places. And so, you know, the way we look at it, I mean, that's kind of a start and stuff. And, you know, to be able to list the starters and who's going to play, but they'll play different spots. At least half of them will. The younger ones, we normally try to get them to learn and master one spot the earlier, you know, in their career.
Coach, I was going to hit you with a random question, but as you know, this is the 150th year of college football, and obviously it's going to be a celebration of the game all year long. To you, it's been part of your life for so long. What makes the game so special?
You know, it's just those I guess, few opportunities that you get each fall. You know, I mean, seems, you know, you work all off season and everything to be able to have an opportunity to have those opportunities, you know, in the fall and stuff. And you know, growing up in my house, and just special times. You know, they were, you know, I'll go back to that, but you know, when you get up in the morning and, you know, your parents get you up and you do all that. You know, those days in the fall, you know, in our house were a little bit different and stuff. You knew there was something imminent happening. You know, it wasn't just a typical morning. And I don't know. They were just special. They're really special days, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And I still feel that way. And the moment I don't, I'll retire.
Will you guys have a size advantage up front on both lines, or is it?
I don't think so. I haven't actually. I know who's playing on them. I didn't get a roster till a while ago. So, but when you look at them, I mean, like last year, I mean, they had big guys up front on defense, and you know, big gap eater, so to speak, players. And you know, they'll have some new guys this year, which we've tried to follow. You know, what they've taken in the off season, but they have some transfer kids that I see that are listed too on their 2 deep. But now we expect them to be at least as big as we are. I mean, if you look at their teams traditionally.
I think everybody's expecting a good crowd, and you remember when you coached your first game here with Southern in town,
Yeah.
what kind of atmosphere that was. Just, you know, how big is it just for the players to come out there and see all those people there and, you know, get ready to start the season?
I think it's huge, and we talked about that last week. The fact that you got this kind of game for a first game, I think makes off-season better. You know, makes summer workouts for sure better when you have this, you know, this kind of hype and this kind of excitement for a game and stuff. I've always thought it makes it better. And but when I was at McNeese, most of the pictures that we had in the field house were when we played Grambling. And I forgot what year that was, but it was Coach Williams' first year. I mean, and you couldn't. I mean, there were people on the hills and everywhere. And then when I came here, I noticed that all the pictures in the facility are the Baylor whiteout game and the Grambling game. You know, so it just, Grambling travels well, great tradition, you know, great fans, great expectation, you know, for their team. And I think it's exciting because, you know, they'll show up in force.